Iron Fist, the immortal Iron Fist, Netflix's newest superhero Marvel TV show. It stars Finn Jones, which I think is doing a great job. Jessica Henwick is also, I think, doing a good job. The two of them are from the Game of Thrones series, which is kind of cool that they came over together. Tom, I'm going to say this wrong, Pelfrey, I think is how you pronounce his name, is a good medium-level villain. He's actually pretty good at that. He's kind of cold and distant and violent, like the kid that would, pull the wings off of bees and insects and then grew up, murdering dogs or something. That kind of a kid that grew into his Loki-esque villainy. David Wyndham is the premier villain of the show. And I'll say he's doing a pretty good job also. I've watched a few episodes, but I'm primarily talking about the first episode in this video. He's old looking, so it looks like maybe there's something wrong with him. He's kind of youngish, kind of oldish. You'll have to see it. It looks like his body may be deteriorating or something of that nature, but plays a good villain. Iron Fist has gotten a lot of bad reviews lately, and the reason that I do the reviews myself personally is because me and some friends sat around and we were talking about a movie and how it got bashed by the critics, but we loved it. So we decided that we could probably do better, and by we meant me. So I started doing reviews because I was like, you know what? That's not what the average guy is thinking when he sees this, especially somebody like me and my friends who were into the pop culture comic book, Star Wars type thing, and we knew a little bit about the culture. We didn't think that people on the outside seeing the movie was giving it a good review. So this is why I do it. Which brings me back to Iron Fist. Primarily, he's been getting a bad review because he's a Caucasian actor playing a martial arts superhero. And most people believe that it's a Hollywood whitewashing where they're putting in a Caucasian actor where an Asian one should have been. But in reality, Iron Fist in the comic books has always been a Caucasian dude. Always that way. And that's like the irony of the book. He's a rich white kid that goes to a far-off land, learns martial arts, and becomes the second greatest martial artist in all of Marvel history. And he's a white guy. So, there's a twist. But people are in an uproar about it. But it's not founded because he's actually playing the scene correctly. He's the dude. Also, people have said that it starts out too slow. But I think it starts out at a good pace because it has to tell you the story. It has to bring you in, has to be like, hey man, this is what's going on. Some of the other ones, everybody that's the Netflix Marvel superhero, they're all fighters, but Iron Fist is the premier fighter. And I think they did this the correct way by going in and instead of just having him beat the crap out of people, they're telling a story. They're building the character. And I think that that's good. People who aren't into the book or into the comic books and the Marvel atmosphere would not know a lot about him. And if he just came out and started kicking people in the face in the first episode smacking people around, you wouldn't get a grasp of what he's gone through to become who he is. He's still kicking a lot of butt, but they're telling some story too, so it needs a slow burn at first. They didn't rush the action again. I think that was a really smart move. Can't wait to see how they bring Luke Cage into this. Luke Cage in the comic books is Iron Fist's best friend. They're buddies. They're complete buddies. They're like brothers. And since they're both going to be in The Defenders, which is Netflix's next big thing, I wonder how their dynamic will be. I'm hoping that it'll be good. And they kind of hint towards a connection. In the first episode, Iron Fist listens to a lot of hip hop, which was prominent in the Luke Cage series. There's a lot of hip hop music. In fact, Method Man, a famous rapper, was in one of the episodes. So this ought to be good. They're starting to build a connection already in the first couple of episodes. The opening story primarily is Danny Rand, who is the name of Iron Fist. Danny Rand has been away for about 15 years. His family crash landed in the Himalayas. They're the owners of a billion-dollar corporation. They're Tony Stark-esque in the money category, in their finances. And they own this company, they crash land. Slightly different story than the books, but it still gives you the same premise. They crash land, they die, and Danny, as a 10-year-old, is stuck in the Himalayan snow by himself. He's rescued by monks from a city, a mythological city that only appears every 15 years. For him, coincidentally, it showed up at that time and they were able to save him. He spends 15 years, because then the city disappears, spends 15 years in the city learning their culture and their ways, and they're a warrior people, so he learns their forms of martial arts. He learns and masters nearly every form of martial arts. He also learns to, he becomes the Iron Fist, which is a series of tests ending in defeating a dragon, the Undying Dragon. And he gets a symbol burned on his chest. Now in the comic books, they haven't shown what happens in the show yet, but in the comic books, that symbol was on the dragon, and that's how he breathed. And Danny grabbed the dragon. It was thin enough that he could wrap his arms around it, and he held it, and he suffocated it, but the burn of that symbol was burned in his chest. And he became the Iron Fist. I'm not sure how they're going to do it on this one, but he does in fact have the symbol, so we'll see how that happens. And then he comes back to modern day New York, and he wants to, because he's been gone. He was 10 years old when he left, so his mentality is almost childlike when he comes back. And barefoot and in bummy clothes, he walks into his family's business, which is, a skyscraper, multi-billion-dollar company. And he walks in barefoot and says, "Hi, it's me. I'm back. Give me some money," or whatever. And they can't do that because they don't know him for real, so they kick him out. So he has to establish who, in fact, he is. That's it. So, with people not liking the way it started and how slow it moved, the guy just came back. He's got to, establish who he is. He's got to say, "Hey man, look, I'm that dude you thought was dead. I'm not. I'm the guy." So it takes time. You can't just walk in and say, "I'm Iron Fist," and start punching people and smacking the secretary and, kung fu-ing the building up. You can't do that. It wouldn't make any sense. So it needed this slow burn to build to it. And I say slow burn, but it's not 100% slow. They did sprinkle a little bit of action throughout it. So you're going to get fight scenes. I mean, he's the premier fighter of the Marvel universe, so you're going to get action scenes, and they got them. So I would look for the action also. Pay attention to the story, because some of the things that happen in the beginning are relevant later. In fact, I can't wait to see how they do this. Daredevil is considered one of Marvel Comics' best fighters, also one of the best. So they're going to eventually meet, and it's a thing that superheroes, when they usually originally meet, for one reason or another, they get into a scuffle because they know that people like to see, their favorite heroes fight, the comic book guys. So that'll probably happen. So I look forward to it. I enjoyed the first episode. I'm looking forward to watching the entire series, looking for hints that other things are to come. I'm probably going to do at least one, maybe two more videos about the series itself. It looks good. People are saying that it's not good. Don't judge for yourself. Watch it, see how you dig it. But me personally, I give this series 8 bags of popcorn. Yeah, 8 bags. So, have you seen it? Do you like it? What's your favorite of the Marvel cinematic / television series? Do you like Daredevil? Are you waiting for Punisher? Are you waiting for the Defenders? Let's talk about it. Write it down there in the comments. And as always, if you dig the video, if you like the content, then right over here, click my face and subscribe. And then like.